you're looking to dive into topics on how to live a happier, healthier, more fit, and long lifespan, then you've come to the right podcast. Living the Dream with me, Coach Damian Evans. Together, we will explore the topics on all things health, fitness, and wellness. Together, we will be lifelong learners on this journey to living the ultimate dream. What up, Dream Team? Coach D here coming at you from beautiful sunny San Diego, and welcome back to the Living the Dream podcast, where we start the weekend strong by covering how to properly care for ourselves based on what works best for us individually and in order for us to reach for our health, fitness, and wellness goals, and in order to live that dream life. Today, we're going to be talking about how to set and achieve goals. How to set and how to achieve goals. These topics have been discussed in several Huberman Lab episodes, including the science of setting and achieving a goal and the goal toolkit, how to set and achieve your goals today. And we're going to go through that today and share with you what I've learned from each of these episodes. So, goal setting, there are 6 steps to make the process easier and to make you more productive when it comes to goal setting. To begin, you'll need to pick a goal. That might seem pretty obvious, but many people fail to achieve their goals. Why? Because they don't spend time defining their specific goal or goals. To do so, you're going to follow these next 6 steps. So step number 1, choose a priority goal. During goal setting, people often want to overhaul too many habits at once. For example, you want to start a diet, you want to start working out, you want to start sleeping better, you want to start meditating, you want to start drinking more water. And we're all going to do this starting January 1st. Pursuing too many goals simultaneously often leads to failure of every single one of those goals. Instead, set a priority goal by asking, what is the one goal I can give the necessary time and energy to pursue right now? What is the one goal? So step number 1, choose a priority goal. Step number 2, pursue a lofty goal. Your chosen goal should be ambitious. Simple goals won't cause sufficient levels of neural arousal and stress to stimulate real growth and learning. Therefore, aim for a lofty goal. That one's a little counterintuitive because we always say on this podcast, start slow and start small. But this is when you're looking at the big picture. So choose a lofty goal that you can then cut down into smaller steps. Step 2, pursue a lofty goal. Step 3, define specific actions. While overarching goals like get fit or write a book or run more, these are all helpful to list during a brainstorming session for your goals. You must identify the actions involved in achieving each of these macro goals. So break down your desired outcome into specific action steps to significantly improve your likelihood of achieving your goal. For example, run 3 times a week, not run more, run 3 times a week. And to be even more specific, maybe it's run Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 6 p.m. after I get off work. Once I get home and I change into my workout clothes, it's the first thing I do. That is how you define specific actions. So step 3, define specific actions. Step 4, goal measurability. Establish a finite time to complete your goal. I'd suggest like a 12-week time period. That's pretty appropriate for most goals, 12 weeks. Within this quarterly time frame, you can define number 1, total hours per week. Number 2, specific days. Number 3, the length of each goal-oriented work session. And number 4, a specific time window. For example, from 8 to 9 a.m. or a time constraint, meaning before 9 a.m. You can do this for the goal-oriented work session. So goal measurability, total hours per week, specific days, the length of each goal-oriented work session, and a specific time window. That's pretty nice. Step number 5 is to quantify your goals. Some goals have easily quantifiable outcomes. For example, running a marathon in less than 3 hours. Others are more subjective. For example, developing a meditation practice. With loosely defined goal outcomes, you have to take extra care. Outline the specific necessary actions for your plan. For any type of goal, it can also help to designate smaller outcomes along the 12-week journey. They will help keep you feeling motivated as you hit each milestone. Number 5, quantify your goals. For example, I want to run a marathon in under 3 hours. And step number 6, this is actually a little bit opposite of what I've thought before. Huberman says, don't tell the world. Have you ever started a goal and wanted to share the news via a group text or a social media post? Unfortunately, receiving positive feedback on a newly set goal can undermine your success. Interesting. This positive encouragement can activate the brain's reward mechanisms without actually going after the goal. This reduces your motivation to continue pursuing the goal. You already got the reward without doing the hard work. You already got the reward without doing the hard work. So when you start a goal, it's usually best to keep this endeavor to yourself, and then it can also make sharing with friends and family that much more fun once you've hit your first milestone. So try not to get that dopamine hit, your brain's reward mechanism, by telling everyone that you're going to do something until you've actually started it. But definitely your support system and your accountability system is a huge factor towards your success, towards your goals. So don't keep it to yourself forever. That's my opinion. Now let's talk about goal pursuit. These are 7 tools to make it easier and more effective once you have specified your goal and once you have outlined the necessary action steps. You're going to use these next 7 tools, and they will help you to stay motivated and reach your goal. So once you've done all of what we've talked about so far, and you've chosen a good goal, and you've really dialed down the specifics, tool number 1 is called the Post-it note fallacy. The Post-it note fallacy. Placing a note on the mirror that exclaims, floss, or on your back door that says, you better run today. These might be motivating at first, but likely just after a few days, you'll fail to quote unquote see these Post-it notes anymore. This visual reminder, it won't really be something that's new to you. So you'll kind of just gloss over it. The brain monitors for everything in your environment, and then it filters out things that are new, and it wants to show you new things. And this is a safety protection mechanism, right? If we were aware of everything going on in our environment right now, how your shoes feel on your feet, how the clothes hit your body, how the air is hitting your skin, how this thing over in the corner is happening, like you would be so overwhelmed. But it doesn't call attention, your brain, to the day-to-day similarities. We start to gloss over them. A static visual reminder will fail to trigger action, which is exactly what you wanted from this Post-it note. Instead, write a new Post-it note every few days and post it in different locations. So the Post-it note works, but it only works for a little bit. Change the locations, change the message in order to maximize results. Tool number 2, visualize the end and visualize what failure looks like. Ooh, interesting. Yes, failure. If you feel motivated before a work session, spend 1 to 3 minutes visualizing the positive outcomes of the goal and success, but then also as what it looks like to fail with your goal. Do this to sustain motivation throughout your work bout. On unmotivated days, spend 1 to 3 minutes visualizing the failure of not achieving your goal. That is, visualize the negative outcome. This is human nature. Humans will work very hard to avoid feelings of failure. Your brain will recruit neurochemicals like adrenaline to boost your levels of arousal and focus to avoid feelings of failure. Tool number 2, visualize the end and visualize what failure looks like. Tool number 3, visualize targets. Maintaining mental focus is strongly anchored to the visual system. Use a visual target strategy. Narrow the cone of your visual attention to a specific object or a point in front of you and hold it in your gaze for 30 to 90 seconds. Dr. Emily Balcetis and colleagues have shown that this exercise increases alertness and autonomic arousal in the brain and body, and it also helps to build and sustain motivation. Here's another tip. Relax your gaze and look off into the horizon when you finish working. This turns off the release of chemicals associated with alertness and arousal and will aid in relaxation. We've talked about this before. You have really three levers that you can pull, three really good, powerful levers that you can pull to control the state that you're in. You can be in an aroused, amped up, go, go, go state, or you can be in a relaxed, parasympathetic, rest and relaxed state. And you can control these states with three things. One, your breath, the most powerful one, your breath. Emphasizing exhales will help to calm. Emphasizing inhales will help to amp you up. Also, your muscle tone. If you flex every muscle in your body, you'll have a hard time not being amped up. If you can relax every muscle in your body, you will for sure go into a relaxed state. And the third is your sight. What they're talking about here, use visual targets. When, like a hunter, and you're out in the woods and you dial in your focus on an animal, you will be amped up. So narrow your cone of visual attention. Look at something and really just dial in on that object. Whereas if you're out in nature and you're looking at a nice horizon of an ocean, or you're on a mountain looking over the mountaintops, that's going to relax you. So your visual target is important here. Love that one. Tool number 4, put your phone away. During your work bouts, put your phone out of reach, turn it on airplane mode. Both task switching and procrastination can eat up your work time, and your phone is so good at doing task switching and procrastination. Task switching is when you look at your phone between work bouts doing just checks. Let me check the email. Let me check these notifications. Let me check social media. Procrastinating is when you look at your phone right before starting work to prolong having to actually do the work. So put your phone away. Tool number 4. Tool number 5, intermittent rewards. Motivation and the associated neurochemical dopamine have been the topic of many Huberman Lab episodes. In brief, consistently receiving rewards diminishes the reward's power and reduces overall motivation. Consistently receiving rewards diminishes that power and reduces overall motivation. In contrast, only rewarding yourself at the finish line also reduces motivation. What's the solution then? I shouldn't do frequent rewards. I shouldn't do one reward at the end. Use random intermittent rewards, like a slot machine. Why do you think slot machines are so addictive? Why do you think that social media is so addictive? They use intermittent rewards. This is powerful. After your goal work, maybe you have a 60-minute session of goal work, flip a coin. Heads, you get a reward. Tails, no reward. On a reward day, maybe try using something like positive self-talk. Do it for 30 to 60 seconds to reinforce the neural circuits associated with internal motivation. Yes, I crushed that. I'm amazing. I am on track to doing what I said I was going to do. I can do anything. Or treat yourself to a physical reward from time to time. For example, you could watch a movie. You can listen to an audiobook that you only listen to when you get the reward. Or yes, you could probably use food as a treat and enjoy that, but that can be a slippery slope. But intermittent rewards randomly, this is a impactful tool right here. I love that. Michael Easter wrote about this in The Scarcity Brain. If you want to go more in depth on this, he goes so far into this one. You will know everything you need to know about intermittent rewards if you read The Scarcity Brain by Michael Easter. And the last two, we have tool number 6, the middle problem. People tend to be highly motivated to start your goal and to finish your goal, but motivation often declines right there in the middle. So to overcome the middle problem, number 1, you have to acknowledge that this is a normal phenomenon and not beat yourself up for it. But number 2, you want to use time chunking to break up the middle portion into 3 or 4 smaller time segments. So again, we've talked about this a lot. Break it up into smaller steps. And then you have these intermittent rewards that you can throw in there when you hit each of those smaller steps. And now we're really talking. Tool number 7, the last tool here, circadian rhythms and attention. There are specific times during the day that are optimal for goal work. Dr. Pablo Valdez describes 3 peak times each day when our attention and our focus is at the highest. As a rough guide, as a general guide, after you wake up, 30 minutes, 3 hours, and 11 hours. So again, 30 minutes, 3 hours, and 11 hours after you wake up are great times for hard work. This happens because of the body's natural circadian rhythms, the sleep-wake cycle, and the rhythm of our body temperature and associated neurochemicals. Love it. So I hope that helps, friends, for goal setting. That is it. Thank you so much for joining me on this self-care episode of the Living the Dream podcast. Please share the knowledge that you gain with your friends and family and hold each other accountable. If you enjoyed this content, it helps a ton if you could post on your social media stories a screenshot of this episode and include one takeaway that you learned. Make sure that you tag me and share your journey. Tag me at livingthedream_podcast or at coachdamian_SD and let us know how this episode benefited you. Let us know what we missed. Let us know what we got wrong. Tell us how you have used any of these tips or goals or tools to set your goals and find success. Message us if you have any suggestions or tips that would help your Living the Dream team that we can discuss on future episodes. I will be right here with you working on making us stronger, happier, and healthier humans. Until next time, friends, keep living the dream.